Good morning, friends. Pastor Drew here with another edition of the Daily Word. We're continuing on in our series of Keep, Stop, Start. I love this sermon series because it offers such a simple framework for the ways that we can look at our lives and look at those things that we're looking to keep going, those wonderful, good things that we've developed, the things that we're looking at stopping, those things that don't have a place in our lives anymore, and there's things that we're looking to begin. There's things that we're looking to reinvigorate in our lives. So I love this simple structure, and hopefully you've been doing some thinking about what those are for you. As our daily word today, I'd like to offer a couple reflections on my own experience and some of those things that I've been thinking about keeping in my life. I think the pandemic has caused everyone to develop some new habits, some good, some bad. But for me, some of the good habits that have been a part of my life since all of this started was a kind of a refocus on a lot of the wonderful things that feed my soul. Spending time with my family, just playing and just being dad with my boys, spending more time with my wife. And then, physical things such as, eating healthier, getting more exercise, going on walks and exercising and things like that. And these are all wonderful things that I would certainly file under that keep column in my little chart, right? But I wanted to talk to you today about something else that I have started that I certainly want to keep, that kind of began to develop about halfway through our time in quarantine. What I really caught myself slipping into, and maybe you did as well, about halfway through the quarantine time that we were in, was I kind of developed this very negative and frustrated mindset. This mindset of, oh my gosh, why are we doing this? Or why is this happening? Why is the government doing this, or why is the government not doing this, or why can we not do this, or why are we letting people do that? And just kind of this mindset of just like negative and just frustration, and I began to notice it seeping into other areas of my life, even things that had nothing to do with COVID, right? I'd be like, oh my gosh, they moved the ice cream section at Kroger, really? Really? Okay. Just like silly things that had nothing to do with it. And so I caught myself kind of slipping into this place of negativity and not remembering who I am and whose I am and who is in control, right? And as Christians, we believe that God is in control. And so one morning during my quiet time when I was praying about this, I just was reminded. I began to think about all of the times in Scripture and all the times in our lives where we were going through a hard time, or someone in Scripture was going through a hard time. There are countless examples, and they remained faithful. They remained faithful to God, and remember the promises that God had even in those tough times. And a lot of times God was building and working on something even when all that pain and loneliness was happening, much like we were experiencing, and working it together for good. Friends, Pastor Brad has helped remind us in his sermon to keep the faith. And to keep the faith, then to remember that God is still God and still working in the world. One of my favorite lines of one of the songs that we sing at the Journey is from a song called Waymaker, and it just repeats in the bridge. It says, even when I can't see it, you're working. Even when I can't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Friends, that's a mindset that I need to keep as we move forward, as we have questions about how long this will go on. A mindset that remembers that God's mercies are new every morning, and that God is working for good in the world, for good for you and good for his people. So for me, the biggest keep is keeping a positive mindset that the best is yet to come, and that God is still working in our lives. And I pray that over you and your family, even in the face of frustration, even in the face of uncertainty. Remember that God is still God, And so much of the way that we experience our lives is the way that our mindset is. And by fixing our eyes and thoughts on things above and knowing that God is in control has been something that's been massively helpful for me. Blessings, friends.